Good afternoon, everybody. Once again, and to those who have just joined us, welcome to today's webinar organized by the Legal Space Department of Malaysian Law Student Network, titled Finding Your Firm Fit, How to Choose the Right Firm. My name is Indu, and I'll be your moderator for today's session. I would like to now express my deepest gratitude on behalf of MLSN to our speaker today. Thank you so much for clearing some time out of your busy schedule and being able to share with our audience today on some tips to find the right firm or company, be it for internship, pupillage, or career after graduation. Many of us here are law students who are either just started or we are in the midway of law school, and there are even some postgraduates. As a student, we often ponder upon what areas of practice are available on the market, how to find out whether a firm is compatible with your work culture and your personality. Before we formally commence the discussion, please allow me to briefly introduce our remarkable speaker for today. Mr. Rizal is currently the CEO of Witpack Asia and Tech Rarebit Technologies. He is a motivational speaker, leadership specialist, and seasoned coach who brings with him close to 20 years of experience in areas of business strategy and development, organizational behavior, talent and performance management, corporate consulting, and office management. Mr. Rizal believes that it is the people, not the policies nor processes that make organizations successful. He believes passionately in the culture of service, and the people-centric ideas and initiatives are the key of creating stable, well-connected work ethics to maximize team potential. A shift in culture and mindset at leadership tier is therefore fundamental in compounding individual success towards greater organization. Now, without further ado, I'll pass the floor to Mr. Rizal to share on the topic on finding your firm fit, how to choose the right firm. Mr. Rizal, the floor is yours.
Yay, thank you so much. Thank you, Indu. Oh, it made me sound so good. All right. First of all, thanks for having me here today. I really appreciate it. And also thanks to all of you guys for tuning in at 3 o'clock here in KL. And I know that some of you might not be here in Malaysia, some can be elsewhere. And it'll be really, really early in the morning. So Saturday is precious, right? It's the time you spend with family and friends, or maybe colleagues as well, not thinking about work or not thinking about your studies, but you are here. So, thank you. I appreciate that. Now, guys, if you are excited and you are here with me and you're looking forward to today's session, can you drop me a 1? Drop me a 1 in the chat function. Just type 1, and then you want to type as many ones as possible. Also can, that you're excited and ready for today's session. I want to know if you're really in it. So just type 1 in the chat function. Okay, we got Danny Roshan. Okay, Japat, very good. Nice. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Now I can feel the power already. So this way, I know you guys are paying attention. So that's great. Cool. Thank you. I hope that you guys had lunch already. I know it's Saturday because things, people always have brunch and then they're going to have a delayed lunch, or they will just have an early dinner. Maybe 3 o'clock is a bit too early. Anyway, let's get stuck into it. I'm going to be sharing screen. Let me share screen. Oh, I need to be the host. Can you make me host? So we're going to be talking about a very fun topic. It's about finding your firm fit and how to choose the right firm. And it's actually a fun topic. Earlier today, I was speaking to students from university. I think it's UNITAR. Yes, it is UNITAR. And they were a bunch of engineers, environmental, electrical, and mechanical engineering students. So they themselves are also planning ahead, knowing what they need to do or finding out what they need to do to be able to get the job that they want. So very similar concepts as what you guys are going through, but I'm going to be tweaking it so that it fits the legal industry. All right, so let's go into it. Today's menu, even though you already had your lunches or your brunches, I still have this nice menu for you. All right, we're going to talk about what's in the market. Now, when I say what's in the market, it's not really I'm going to go and show you what's in the market. It is what you need to consider to look in the market and what will happen. And doing your due diligence, I love this word. I was not familiar with the word due diligence until, I mean, I knew it, but I didn't really know the work until I went into the legal industry and I love it. Okay. They don't love it, but it's a term that I always hear. And partnership 101 and firm evolution, we're going to look at what is partnership and then what has been happening across the globe in terms of how law firms work. And how do I improve personal branding and planning for success? Now we'll be covering a lot of topics. Now I'll try to fly through. And if there's any questions, you can always ask away towards the end, or even pop a question into the chat function here. And I'll try my best to answer. All right. So let's go straight into it. What's in the market? How do you know what's in the market? So I think that most of you guys here would be students either in your first, second, third, or even or third or fourth. Some of you might, I'm not sure if you're local unis here, but if you're closer towards the end of your degree, you'll probably be already had a look at what's available in the market. But I'm very keen to find out from you, how have you been searching for your job recently? So I'm going to call on the committee members to launch a poll. So Indu, if you can, let's launch a poll for us, the first one. So the first poll goes, how have you been searching for your job recently? Is it through online job portals or you see job ads? 2, using LinkedIn or any social media platforms? 3, you speak to your mom and dad and friends. And then attending networking events, going to career fairs, and virtual online. Or the last one, you rub the lamp and wait for the genie. That one, some people actually do it. We got one. we got a vote here already. Someone is rubbing the lamp and waiting for the genie to come on. So online job portals and job ads. And okay, we're going to close this one. Oh, it's got a counter there. Okay, another 10 seconds to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Can you help me end the poll? Okay. Oh, so I'm the one that's doing it, is it? Can you share the results? Yes. All right. So guys, let's have a look here. It says 69% of you voted for online job portals and job ads. Good. Very good. So you're actually on the pulse and you're using LinkedIn. 54% said you're using LinkedIn or social media platforms to find out what's available out there. And 31% speaking to family and friends, which is also very common. And the rest, networking events, career fairs, 33%, and then using Genie. Using that's the 8%, 1% voted basically. But it's fine. You never know. It could work, it could work. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to stop share this one. Indu can stop share. All right. So basically for me, when you're looking for work, right, it looks just like this thing over here. When you go to the market, right, what do you want to buy? What do you want to buy? It really depends on what you feel like today. If I want to have pasta today, I want to buy tomatoes, I want to buy zucchini and then peppers, capsicum. I want to put some prawn in it. So that's the flavor of the day, that what I feel, that's what I'm going to go and get. So when you are actually in the job market, there's actually so many types of jobs available. I know that we're talking to, future lawyers here, but I know very well that 50% of the people who did law, more than 50% don't end up doing law. They try something different. Nothing wrong with that as well. But what I want to point out is that when you're going to go and look for work, there's actually a lot of things out there. It's all about how you do your research and you tie it into what you want. Okay. So how do I know if I've done enough research about the firm of choice? Don't worry. So I'm going to be going into that a bit more. And then I'm going to make sure that when you guys finish the course, you actually know what to consider when you're going to go out and look for work. All right. When you're going to go and look for which firm I'm going to go for, I know these are the key points I need to consider. But before that, you know what I did? I actually went to the Bar Council website and I tried to pull up some information. Very interesting one. Let's have a look at this one first, yeah, before we start researching. So comparison of size of law firms. Now, interestingly, in Malaysia, bigger than 30 is considered as large. So we got 34. So not so many, but the number of medium size is getting bigger, and smaller size firms are also getting bigger. So you do have a bit more opportunity now. This is since 2021. And number of practitioners by year, it has been growing up at least between 700 to 800 packs, or close to 1,000 packs every year. All right. So number of total practitioners. Now, when they say practitioner, I'm assuming that those that have registered in the Bar Council. So there might be those that either not registered, or those that graduated and didn't register themselves, or those that stepped out. They would remove it from here. So what does it say? What does it mean to you? It means that you have quite a high number of people coming in, and the number of firms don't really change that much. Okay, so it's quite a competitive market all out there for you. Now, there's a lot more information actually that I found out: the number of male and female, number of years, and so on. So you can see that the number of younger lawyers are actually growing. Interesting. All right. So going back to that point just now, I was talking about doing your due diligence. What's in the market? It's about doing your due diligence. So the short form for due diligence that I learned when I was in the law firm is duty. Oh my God, I got to do duty. And I was thinking, what is duty? The handy duty, I didn't make sense. I had to go and ask someone, what's duty? Due diligence lah. Okay. So I adapted this thing. So due diligence actually just means research, knowing how to do your proper research. And I broke down the meaning of research. So search is about looking, right? You put in a in front of something, it's doing it many, many times, deeper and deeper, and you'll be very thorough. So due diligence is actually doing research. So when you want to be looking at things in the market, when you want to know what you want to be looking for, you got to look at a few points. Let's have a look at some of them. So if your first duty is skill and experience the firm values. Now, it's very important for people out there. If you want to go and look for the firm of choice, you got to make sure that you know what they are looking for. All right. So a lot of people, and I'm going to be repeating this all the time. Every time people go for interviews, they don't know what they're looking for. They don't know what the firm wants. Every 100 people that apply, 80%. So 80 people come into the interview, don't know about the firm, don't even know what the firm does, and don't even know what role they want to play. Okay, so that's very critical. And I'm not saying this out of statistics. I'm saying it because I have been there, and I'm the one that help oversee the recruitment for all business staff and also lawyers as well. So I know, and I've been in the two biggest firms in the region, if not globally. So I know what it is when people come and apply. People don't understand that. So you need to definitely know what the skills and experience that the firm values and who the key individuals are. So when I say key individuals, we should be looking at partners. All right. So make sure that you are able to pick up what do they value and who are the key people. Next one is these guys here. So I got a picture of me that, hiding behind the brush is actually seeing beyond the fluff. We want to see actually what sort of news and events that are coming up from the firm. If the firm is very active, be it on LinkedIn or on social media, other social media like FBIG, or even the news, you can sort of have a feel what sort of work do they do, and then what sort of a service they give their clients. All right. And this gives you a sense of the working culture, what are their values, and what their mission is going to be. Okay. So for a multinational or a big global firm, their topic, obviously the news and the events that they partake on would be those that are regional, cross-border, very big, right? Then for more local law firms, the news would be different, especially those that are on the litigation side. Lots of stuff come out from there. Now, if you as a law student don't know where to look up for law or legal related news, that's a big sign. So make sure that you know where to look out for legal news. There's tons out there, but you got to know which one matters. Okay? All right. And then the next one here is me looking at a mob. That mob is my friend, my enemy, the person that helps me in my work. So it's the same here. When you go and do your duty or you research on your firm, you want to find out who their clients and who their networks are. Okay, so this is very critical. So now, if you're the type that you have a certain type of law firm that you're looking for a corporate type of law firm that gives you an opportunity to do cross-border work, go and check out who their clients are. Of course, some law firms don't disclose their client details, but some law firms do with the permission from the clients, and then you get to see what sort of work they're doing. Now, if you are attracted to that, you like that side, that sort of work, you want to be involved with big clients, very busy but engaging, then you need to understand who their clients are. And last but not least is what's the real story. Now, this is where I'm going to be touching on a bit more later, which is on LinkedIn. How to be able to determine how it is and what it is the real story behind the whole facade, the website, LinkedIn, the people, the stakeholders, and so on. What is it inside there? You are able to pinpoint some of the values, some of the real working culture, just by seeing how the people in the firm engage. And you could even, because the power of LinkedIn allows you to be able to communicate directly with those that you may be working with or those that you want to work with in the future, your potential mentor or your potential colleague. There's nothing wrong with you dropping a DM and say hi and communicate. Their responses and the way they communicate with you can tell a lot. All right. So that's how I would do my due diligence at the very least. And the next one, the last one, this one here, I always suggest if you are already at that stage where you've sent in applications and whatnot, to go the next level up is to be able to know who will be your interviewer. Why do I ask this, right? What does this have to do with research or duty? For me, this really tells me a lot about the firm. Now, if I'm going to go in and interview with the firm and my interviewer is going to be the managing partner or the recruitment partner and so on, then it's good because I know that they're going to take my recruitment very seriously and they value who's coming in. So how do you need to find this out? So if you're not sure, you can either give them a call, drop them an email when you submit, and may I, in the next step, when they have responded calling in for an interview, may I know who's coming in? If you can't find out, just find out from your friends who've already went for interviews and so on. Just have a sense. This will actually tell you what the hiring process is going to be. When the hiring process is very sloppy or people don't really care, and that's a sign that, the firm doesn't really matter. They just want someone to come in and then, do their work, and whether you improve or not, or whether they are very vested in your development, I'm not so sure. Companies that are people-centric, give a very big emphasis on making sure that the right people join the firm. And for me, if I have a key hire that's coming in, I want to be that. All right. So that's enough about due diligence or doing your research. Just remember those points that I mentioned before. That it's critical you find out everything. Okay. Later on, I'll be touching base on this. So don't worry. So why it's important to do that is I always put this friend of mine here, the burung helang or the eagle. Whenever that you are trying to go into the job market and look for something, always have the eagle eye standpoint. What is the eagle eye? The eagle eye can go fly up high in the sky. They are able to see things on a large point of view. So for me, from a graduate perspective, if you are an eagle flying up in the sky, I know that these are the few options that I have, that I may aim for. A type of industry, a type of firm, or the type of culture. So I've already put that in different buckets. So I know my targets, and then I can zoom in. And when I zoom in, I know who the stakeholders are, what the mission and vision are, what are their clients like, and what sort of working culture they have, and what's the real story behind the scene about the firm. Being able to see from a wide angle and then zooming in. So that's why the eagle is very good. They can hone into a prey, 200-300 meters up high in the sky, and then, very focused. They know what they're doing. So some people who don't have that, they're just going to look very high. And then when they apply, they go in, they have no idea what they're getting themselves into. Yes, I got this huge company that I'm joining. So who's your boss? How is the work going to be? Do you know what your, deliverables are and so on? That's when you start losing out and you made the wrong mistake, the mistake in trying to choose the right firm for you when you didn't really find out more about them. Okay, so that's a bit about due diligence. Now, I'm going to go and jump into something a bit more deeper. We're going to talk about Partnership 101. Now, this one, just talking a bit about what law firm is all about. I think most of you would already know this. And we'll go and have a sneak peek at different law firms and see, I'll give you some hints and tips on how to just dissect information. So Partnership 101, very simple. A form of business operation between two or more individuals who share management and profits. Simple, right? It's like, a Rojak guy and a Chendol guy, they become partners and they say that we use the same lorry, the same truck, and then whatever money we get, we divide depending on, what's agreed on. And they manage the thing together. In a general partnership, partners manage the company and assume responsibility for the partnership's debt and other obligations. So that's why when you go into a law firm where the shareholders and there's a board director and then there's a person leading it, yes, that can be something different. So let me know. Into also, I can see there's an unstable internet connection on my side. If I am ever stuck, just let me know. All right. So I wanted to also highlight how and what makes a law firm operate the way it is. So I'm showing you this beautiful little pyramid. So usually when a partner or a group of people get together, what they'll do is they set out a mission. This is our mission. We want to service our clients. These are a set of clients, and these are our target. And these are the industries that I'll cover. From there, I'll be able then to decide what I need to be able to do to be able to achieve the mission. So that could be, I need to have, I need to make sure that we are able to do cover a particular area of law, and then I'm able to, have to allocate the right amount of resources and capabilities to serve a client, be it meeting room, be it phone calls, doing virtual meetings and whatnot. It's the process that's involved in that. And then also having the right paperwork, the right documentation and administration to make sure that everything's all ready and legal before I can do that. So that's the process. And once you have your mission and your process in place, then you know who you need to bring in. Let's say if you're going to be focusing on litigation, I need to make sure that I have, be the representative at the court of law, and I also have people who can run the administration side of it. The court clerks or the administrators or the dispatch boys or the guys that can help you make sure that you're able to do that. And from the roles that you have, then you can figure out how the whole process fits in. So you have a senior partner, then a supporting partner, a junior associate that comes in to support the partner, and then a few business administration staff to be able to support all the partners and lawyers and do their work in order to achieve the mission. And once you have that all in place, then you got the people practices. This is very critical. The people practices here is the make or break for any organization. Good organizations would know that all these four things are very critical, and they have recorded and prepared proper guidelines of how you're supposed to do things in the office. Now, if you go to the office, it's very common. If you go to smaller law firms or mid-sized law firm, hey, how do you then submit this document? You go and ask this person. He will teach you, he or she, then you know already that the people practices is not there. The structure is not correct. So a very good firm would have all this in place. Now, don't go in line and interview, hey, you got people practices or not? They probably won't know. All right. But do you have, structures in place for us to be able to, do our work? How do you then deal with people working from home? What are the policies available for, us working from home, making sure that we are able to serve our clients? And if they have that all in place, great. It means that those guys have created a structure in order to meet their mission and goal. All right. So I know this is a bit heavy, but I just wanted to have an insight as to how partnerships are formed and how the whole process comes in. Now, for myself, I was in general management before, and in two big law firms as well. I was placed in a firm to be able to work with the senior partners in making sure that these all five portions are always running properly. Okay, that's where I come in. All right. So understanding your journey as a lawyer, I love how the legal industry works. When you guys graduate from university, your timer already starts, from the day you enter university studying law. So I always consider the first 3+ years here very critical. This is when you, build your foundation, your appreciation, and your passion in law. And this one element here, internship, which I think is very critical. Most of you, if you've never done internship before, you better go out and do it. Who you do it with, it doesn't matter. As long as you have the opportunity to go in, because half interview, I consider it. Because really good firms remember really good, valuable people that come in and join them during the internship program. And highly likely that those that do internship will also be able to do pupillage as well. Okay. So for these start 3+ years or so, I would consider this to be the minimum practical years. And then once you get into the pupillage, you kickstart the full practical before you're being called up to the bar or being assigned as a lawyer or legal associate at a particular firm. Okay. So for those that have not done the internship, please do so. And then when you want to go and apply for pupillage, later on, we'll talk about it, how you can now kickstart that process to make sure that you get the right firm to join in. All right, so let's go quickly into practice area and functions. Now, there's so many names here. There's called practice department, practice groups, practice area. So I heard that some people say practice area was easier for you. So practice area basically is focus areas and specializations. So smaller firms tend to have a more wider scope of coverage because resources are a bit different, right? Firms tend to have a wider scope of coverage because they do everything. Now, once you go to larger firms, specialization is required, and in order to build better service capabilities and efficiencies. And this is very, very, very clear for me because when I went into Wong and Partners and then Christopher and Leong, I really, really saw that it's like a food court already. Different shops and different stalls have different specialization, and they bring everyone to come into the food court. You're able to choose different things, right? Smaller firms, like a small restaurant, they cook everything, whether it's good or not, it's a different story, but they do everything under the sun, under one smaller roof. What's the difference? Of course, you are able to take on bigger projects and you would have a better supporting team to work with you. But once you're specialized, that also means that probably a higher number of work coming in that particular area. Now, do you know what practice groups or departments are there in law firms? Do you guys know? Are you familiar with practice groups or practice areas in law firms? Are you familiar? Just say yes or no. No, yes. Okay. Arvin say yes. Sajani said no, yes. Okay. No problem. Because I don't expect everybody to know 100% straight away. Because almost all that come into a corporate law firm like Wong and Partners or Christopher and Leong, most students or most graduates have no idea. They know that they do corporate work, but what does corporate work really mean? Nothing that you have learned at your university would have prepared to whatever that you're going to be doing at the office. All right. But it doesn't mean that it's going to waste. It does prepare you to be meticulous, ready to take on different type topics and matters or subjects. And the quicker you are to be able to grasp things, and if you're interested in it, you'll be much better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring here my page to the screen. So this one here is my old law firm, Wong and Partners. So if you scroll in here, you can have a look. Wong and Partners does a lot of things, and they have capital markets, competition, dispute resolution, employment, finance, and projects, and so on. All you need to do is just click on it and read it. Okay? Just understand what the key area of services that they are doing. Now, even though this is here, as I say, 100%, I'm not wrong. Out of 100 people, 80 people don't know this. 80 people don't know this. 80 people would not know this. And those that know generally do have a fair better, and they may get, through the next round and be shortlisted or even get in. So if you don't know this is very hard. Let me go to my other law firm, the other law firm that I work with. So this is Christopher and Leong, Malaysia. So again, practice, our partners and so on, the practice area. If you click on it, that's my friend John. Let's see if you go in, then they will have a breakdown of what they do. And while it's loading, I'm also going to bring out Zico as well. So Zico here, even more interesting because such a unique law firm that has grown so much that they provide quite a lot of services beyond just legal as well. And they built quite a reputation in the Southeast Asian countries as well. All right, so going back to Christopher and Leong, let's have a look. So these guys are quite huge. They're tied into Raja and Tan Asia, and Raja and Tan is huge in Singapore, the biggest law firm in Singapore. I think it's about 700 strong alone in Singapore itself. So you can see the different areas that they are in. And when you are going in, try and have a read up, all right, all these particular topics. And then when you are also studying about it, do read, relevant newspapers or journals or magazines that talk about these topics. We always look for that kind of thing. We want to see someone who has that business acumen, being able to relate what's in the business world and then also what's in practice and how that two can come in together. Because, at the end of the day, what corporate law firms do is they help their clients. And how they help their clients is solving problems. And how you come and help solve the problem is from the legal aspect. But most of it, there is always a business element that you need to be able to understand and then help the client. It's never one straightforward. There's no such thing as one particular method and this is the one way. Of course, you have precedents and whatnot, but generally all clients are different. Even for me too, I've been to many, many firms. All firms, even though the basics that they want is the same, the job description sounds the same. The minute I start working, completely different. It never is never the same. Okay. So I got Zico as well. I even have here Tommy Thomas, and he's got, you know, the stuff that he does. And you can even go and check out what they do and the areas of law and the different areas of law that they cover, and a bit of the history for Tommy Thomas and whatnot. So do spend time reading on this. Make sure that you know who they are, and then you will be able to find out the practice areas and law firms. Now, I'm just going to go very quickly. Functions. So bigger law firms have nice, bigger functions. So that's where I came in. But some of the main areas that they cover will be finance, operations and admin, human resources, business development, marketing, IT, secretaries, paralegals, and legal executives. Now, please don't quote me when you go to for interview and do you have all this? No. Usually most firms only have secretaries, HR admin and finance, one person or two person, and paralegals, and that's it. Right? And if like you have 30 partners and maybe 4 or 5 people that supports on the back end, or just most of them are secretaries and admin. I was lucky because for one partners it was a bit different. They were very busy. They're constantly getting a lot of work from different parts of the world, and they are a global firm. So there's so much work going on. The focus on running the business has been given to a business unit, and that's why I came in as a general manager to manage the business unit, so that the whole machine is working while they are focusing on work. Okay. All right. And then very quickly, I want to talk about the evolution of law firms. So because I want to quickly step into the topic of how to help you get the job. So this one here is just some teaser or appetizer of how law firms are changing in the global landscape. So this is the old school law firm where you get partners at the top, much less senior associates and mid-level here around, they're in the middle of the pyramid, and you have a high number of associates and pupils. And it's still very familiar, almost like this in Malaysia, maybe just slightly different. They're slightly, but you always have the pyramid structure. Then the most recent one is the hourglass structure. As people age, and then they are able to then still disperse work because of technology, and people value loyalty and people value experience. So the number of partners have been growing quite a lot, and you see a shrinking number of senior associates and mid-level. As companies out there, clients grow, they take on legal counsels and people who no longer wants to practice and bring it into their company, and then they help execute the legal part of the work and communicate with partners. So you can see this part here is getting lesser. However, the number of junior associates will still remain high. Now, what's happening in America and Europe is interesting. This is the next structure, where the number of partners, well, about the same, but the senior associates and the junior level are not as high as the number of partners. Why this is happening is because they apply technology and also the usage of paralegals. Once you have technology and AI in place, a lot of the works, especially transactional works or works that are repeating, can be handled by cheaper and more efficient resources. And technology enables you to do that. So now you get the arrow structure. So this is quite common, and I've seen it happen in America and also for Baker McKenzie as well, because we have a satellite office in South America, Ireland, Philippines, and sooner China. Why they have those satellite office is because they have a follow the sun structure, meaning that any work that comes into different offices can be then flowed into South America, Philippines, and so on, and they can continue working on it for 24 hours. So we have a group of people that is able to service people 24 hours a day. Amazing, right? At a much cheaper rate as compared to the office rate. That's why technology is very big. That's why you see big law firms now have CTOs, CIOs, and then the high number of tech collaboration and tech staff being employed. And of course, paralegals as well. Okay. So that's enough about the evaluation of law firm. So we're going to stop for a while. I hope everyone's okay. Guys, checking in. Are you guys okay? If you're okay, just type okay in the chat function. I hope I didn't scare you. We're going to go basic after this. Everyone okay? Let me know if you're okay in the chat room. Wow, so nice. Saturday, right? So nice, everyone. Okay, good, good, good. So these are all just knowledge, and I hope that by showing you the website, by showing you how to do research about the law firms and whatnot, that's good. And now that you learn a bit about what partnership is and how the structure is going to be like mission, law, process, roles, policies, and so on, you know how it's generally going to work. Now let's go back into the key topic today, which is about job searching. So now, when you're looking for work, I put down a picture of udang here. Udang, very important, the prawn here. You're not alone. No, not because you're an udang and then they got many udangs here. No. When you have problems or you're not sure what to do, never ever go out and look for work by yourself. Go always check with someone who's done it before. You can go to a coach like myself. I don't charge anyone. If you want me to check your CV, you want me to do a mock interview, I can. And you go out and reach out to your alumni, people that you know, friends and family. Always go and check. Get someone to just double check, because once you finish university, you are out there on your own. That time is very scary. Okay. But remember, passion is important, but spend time understanding yourself. Now, when I say understanding yourself, meaning that know really, really what you want, know really what you think, what your plan is going to be, and then find out how best what is your ideal scenario for you, and then draft it out on a piece of paper. Know that know everything about you first before you go out and then meet people. Now, results crazy. People say, how do I know everything about myself? Boleh. Don't worry. Okay, let me show you this one thing, right? This is one way to find out more about yourself. Wait. Okay, let me just open this up. Okay, I'm going to share this, but I will give you this, but you don't do it now. You can do it later. This is free. This is fun. This is one of the many things that you can do before you go. I put it in the chat room. You can open it now, but do it later, please. So this is called the 16 personality test to find out who you are. There's a lot of things that you don't know about yourself before you go in. And then once you understand who you are, what your characteristics are, and then you also know, who your own goals and ideals, then only then you can move forward. So never leave a stone unturned. There's an udang, there's balik batu. It's very important. A lot of people think that, looking for a job is about me trying to go out there and just go and apply. I will spend time understanding what I really want and write it down. Be very, very clear on doing that. Because if you don't do that, you go into the job not knowing that it's not what you want. Okay. So one of the big hints that I'm going to give you today, this will be my mantra for today. Looking for work is full-time work. Looking for work is full-time work. Now I got a question for you guys. You can put it in the chat function. How many hours does a person work a day when you start working? How many hours does a person work a day? Can someone tell me? Put it in the chat function. 8 hours. Okay. Anyone else? 8. Wow, you guys very good. 8 hours. Anyone else? Indu, how many hours Indu? Come on. 8 hours. 8 hours. That's all. No other answers. Okay. All right. So, okay, I guess that most of you are quite happy with the 2 answers. Basically, yes, they are 8 hours a day. So 8 hours a day of work. So for me, one big advice that I have to people is to make sure that when you're looking for work, it is full-time work. If you are, I've been trying so hard, I want to look for work, but I can't find, I've sent already my resume, nothing happens. Dude, if you're just sending emails and you're sending it on job street and that's it, that is not looking for work. I guarantee you, looking for work is full-time work. You have 8 hours per day. When you're not working, spend 2 hours maybe shortlisting companies, doing your duty, all those points on a piece of paper, writing down. And then after that, 2 hours crafting your cover letters and CVs. Now, each target client has a different CV that you want to send because they all have different values, different missions, different skills that they want. So you got to make sure that those skills match what they want, what the employers want. Now, you might be working for a law firm. I don't know what skills they want. So you go and ask and find out. Go and check out LinkedIn and see what they value. And then you put that in. Okay. I can tell you some law firms are very, very picky. And I found out some of the reasons why they hire. So it's very funny. I'll share with that later. And then the remaining 4 hours, maybe 2 hours, you do your calls and then do your connections on LinkedIn and so on. And 2 hours, perhaps practicing on your interview, perhaps practice with someone else or brainstorm with your friend. Do that. If you can't do 5 days a week, do 4 days. If you can't do 4, do 3 days. Anything less than that, you're just not working it. You are not pushing hard enough to be able to get your job. So looking for work is full-time work. No doubt about it. When I came back to Malaysia in 2013, in 3 months, I had about 35 interviews. The reason why I was doing that was because I have never worked in Malaysia before then, and I was new in the market, and I wanted to know what is it in the Malaysian market that makes it interesting. So I had GLCs, MNCs, small, medium-sized startup, everything I've interviewed. And I got a few rejections, and I got 5 offers. And from the 5 offers, I chose only one, and I went for Wong and Partners. Partly because I like the work culture, and it's a multinational, it's a global firm, and I had opportunities to work overseas as well. So that sealed the deal for me, and the package was good enough. Brilliant. Okay. And that was after making sure that I work full-time work. I work looking for work, I do it full-time. Okay. So I'm going to go for another poll. Now, can you do another poll for me? The second poll is, as a job seeker, what do you think you need to improve on most to get the job you want? Only one choice. Yeah. Which one do you think is important for you? 1, resume or CV. 2, communication skills. 3, attire presentation. 4, personal branding. 5, knowledge of my target company. There's no right or wrong here. This is just trying to find out from your side which one is important. Okay. Wow. Very good. Very good. So we got a few. Yes, yes, yes. Nice, nice, nice. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Well, everybody can wear proper nice clothes already. So that's good. I think lawyers not so hard. Like you guys wear black and white, our team. Right? There's no other choice for interviews and going to courts and all that. All right, we can end the poll. Let's find out the results. This is interesting. So 8% says resume, 42% says communication skills. Very interesting. I like that. None of you voted for attire and presentation, and personal branding, 25%, and knowledge of my target company, 25%. Wow, you're not wrong here. All of them are very, very, very important. In fact, most of you highlighted communication skills as the number one thing. That's very true. Communication skills. Back in my days, when I was much younger, interviews were so rigid, like robot, because we didn't have LinkedIn, we didn't have any video fancy. You have to be there, and they ask you questions, and 5 questions. Make sure you answer it really well, and that's it. But what I will be sharing after this is, you can stop share already. Is personal branding. So let's have a look on personal branding. So all those that is mentioned in the poll actually comes down to personal branding. It's all related to personal branding. Yeah. Why is it so important? So I have this very nice example. I got a picture of Campbell's tomato soup, the road to success, and then a microphone. A nice little microphone here. So why Campbell's soup? Why Campbell's soup? When we talk about tomato soup, this brand comes out. When we talk about toothpaste, it's going to be Colgate. If it's a chocolate drink, it'll be Milo lah. And then if it's like go to mama, you want to eat something goreng something, Maggi goreng. It's so ingrained, that particular brand, that you remember it. All right. So what we want to be developing is to create a brand for yourself. When people see you, they remember you very well because your brand is very solid. Okay. To achieve that is not easy, but here are some of the key things that you can have and practice to make sure that you are able to start developing your personal brand. So what's in a brand? Everything that promotes you, anything that promotes you, expertise, experience, and personality, and even your unique selling proposition. Now, of course, people say, hey, Rizal, but I only graduate, ma. I haven't done anything yet. Don't worry. Okay. So when we're talking about promoting you, expertise, experience, and personality, you should be able to already have three things that describe yourself, right? Let's say I'm going to ask you guys now in the chat room, you tell me 3 words that describe you. 3 words that describe you, 1 word each. Let's say I put myself, Okay. This word describes me: fun, loud, and energetic. I mean, that's me. If I ask anyone else, they say that. You guys go ahead. Let's try and do that. Okay. Let's try and put that in. What is your brand? What is your brand? Sorry. Well, how do you then characterize yourself in 3 words? I want to hear from you. Put it in the chat room. Don't be shy. Indu, got anything, Indu? You got to put it in. It's okay. Don't worry. I'm not gonna, put this on Facebook and say, "Ayo, these people claim this." No lah. This is a trial to find out. Guys, come on, don't be shy. Wow, creative, introvert, caring, perhaps resilient, dependable, transparent. Very good. Friendly, caring, ambivert. Okay, I love that. All right. So, what's critical here now, right, is that thank you guys so much for putting it in. I know that it's hard. Some of you might be, multitasking. Goal achiever, diligent, persistent. Ooh, nice. So when you have these 3 words to describe you, the next thing you should do after the course is done, today's session is done, is go to your friend. Don't tell them what you have thought about yourself. Ask them, if you were to choose 3 words about me, right? 3 words to describe me, what would you say? Right? And this is where the test of your brand comes in. You think or somewhat similar, that's good, because that's what your persona is. Okay. And if they're saying completely opposite, meaning that this is just you thinking that's your brand, whatever that people are saying is completely different. They're seeing something different, they're feeling something different. So when you are promoting yourself, when you want to talk about experience, expertise, your personality, go back to these ones here. These are the ones that will stand out for you no matter what you do, because it's automatic. For me, when people come to talk to me, I'll definitely say, "Hey, my name is Rizal. I am a leadership speaker. I'm also a corporate trainer. I definitely enjoy engaging people from different walks of life, and I've traveled around the world. And last week, I just ran a session here." People can feel that because that's who I am. I speak loud. I'm energetic, and I like to give people the perception that I'm fun to engage with. Right? So do that. Figure your 3 words that describe you and go ask, "Hey, if you have 3 words or if 3 sentences to describe me, how can you describe me?" And see whether it matches. And that's where your brand comes in. Now, next up is success. Defining success in your mind is very key for personal branding. So you need to know what your future you looks like. What is your own personal goal, and what's your career path looking like? Now, Rizal, I'm only a student. How do I know what career path is? It's okay. Write it down. The more detailed you are, when you go in for the interview or when you're choosing a particular firm that you're going for, you want to know whether that career path matches what you want. If you start discounting what you want to achieve, and then you say that, "Oh, the firm only offers this, but I wanted more, but this is what I want in my career path." When you go in, you already knowing that you'll be stunted. You don't have, that opportunity. And that's bad. But at least you come in with an eye open. All right. So define what success means in your mind. Always have that personal goal and career path set out. Last but not least, your personal brand and developing your personal value, virtual and reality, which we will talk in a bit later, your mark and how you network. All right. So for me, it's very critical these days that because we are in the, I would say, metaverse generation, like it or not, when you apply for work, people will check out your LinkedIn. Especially if you're going for a prominent firm with a big HR team, they definitely check out LinkedIn. They want to see. Why? In the past, if I want to hire someone has to email me a CV. I look at the photo, description, and so on, and this is a person that I'm going to bring in. And it's so hard to make a decision without seeing a person. Now I'm able to go on LinkedIn, and what that does, it gives me an insight what the person thinks or what that person does. All right, and I'm going to share a bit more later after this. And you need to make sure that virtual and reality matches. Okay. Now I want to ask you guys. Sorry, I know I'm asking a lot on the chat function. Virtual and reality. Now, how many of you've seen FB, you've seen IG, you've seen TikTok, right? You've seen your friends on there, on FB, IG, and TikTok. Wow, they are living their life, man. They're so cool, flying this and so on. But then when you meet in person, it's completely different. Doesn't match the persona that is on FB and IG and TikTok. How many times has that happened? How many times has that happened to you? Let me know. Is it common or is it rare? Means that whoever is on FB, IG, and TikTok is the same. All the time. Many, right? Oh my dear. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so it's true because social media, it's a different world altogether. It's a world that is filtered. So the previous session before, someone said everything is filtered, the life and so on. So for us, we got to make sure that the virtual and reality matches. So when in the professional world, when you're going to work, your LinkedIn has to match with who you are in person. If you really, your about section is good, your lineup is good, what you want to do, your career path, everything's all written there. And then when you go for the interview, you have to be that person that they saw on LinkedIn or on your resume. You got to match it. If not, turn off. Very bad. If it's on the other side, like there's not so great LinkedIn and you go into the in-person, wow, the person is awesome, bam. Okay, but most of the case is not that, right? So you just have to try and match it. It's always safer to do that. Okay, so it's always important to review your personal brand. So the self-assessment, as I mentioned just now, is the 3 words that you describe yourself, and then you ask your friend and find out and create your story. So when you're talking about story, is just now what I said. Okay, if you have 3 words, those 3 words that describe yourself, create a story about yourself that relates to that. Okay, this one you don't have to use the exact answer that you have given me. Like for instance, you've mentioned friendly, caring, and ambivert, right? So when you want to speak, I can tell you already. In interviews, people always have this one question: tell me something about yourself. Tell me something about yourself. Tell me what am I going to say? I makan nasi lemak. No, right? Oh, it's such a big question. Go back to your story, right? For me, I'm passionate about, law and so on. And this is my experience recently, handling a big assignment with my friends. And it was very important for us to be able to work together. And, the camaraderie between the team member was very important. And we went through the assignment, though it was very hard because we cared about each other. And even though I'm a very shy person, but because of that situation, it made me more vocal and I learned to be able to step outside of my comfort zone. Friendly, caring, and ambivert is covered. And you're talking about you, it's a story about you. So you're not lying and you're putting emotion. Now, why is emotion important? Now, I went through 2 courses about storytelling, and these are all top speakers locally and globally, and they tell us how to tell a story. And most of the time, it impacts people more because decisions are made 80% by emotions. So every time when somebody goes for an interview, yes, you may be the right fit, you might be the right candidate. But if your personality doesn't match and it doesn't fit on the expectation of the interviewer, then highly likely you won't make it, especially if you're a small or medium-sized firm. So your story, make sure that it's compelling. It tells you who you are. And then when people make decisions and when you gel, you really gel. Okay, so always create that story. All right. Okay, so I got this little machine here. It's called How Solid is Your Personal Branding, right? You have to hit this machine, ding, and go up. So what I want from you is, I want you to tell me what is your own rating of your own personal brand, right? 1 being very basic, only resume. 10, you got everything. You got your LinkedIn, FB, IG, you got your own networking session, you got your CV, and you already have your target market and people to approach. How do you rate your own personal branding from 1 to 10? 1 is the lowest, 10 is the highest. Let's go in the chat function. How do you rate your personal branding? Put it there. Put it in the chat room. How do you rate your personal branding? It's okay, guys. Don't be shy. Thanks, Arvin. Thanks, Ajani. Thank you. 5 Wow, everyone's safe, huh? Safe. Everyone's very safe, huh? Around 4. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. Okay. 5. Generally, most people put it a 5 because they're not fully confident that, I got that personal branding thing sorted out. But never mind. as long as you constantly rate yourself and figuring out. If you're at a 1, then it's a concern because you only have a CV or resume and you haven't done anything. But if you're 5, I'm assuming that you already have some of the basics in that. Okay, so don't worry. I'm going to share with you how to improve your personal branding. So most importantly here is this word, virtual. How do I improve my personal branding virtually? It's all about the profile, profile, profile. Which channels should I manage? No doubt about it, it's going to be LinkedIn. It's so critical. Okay, and developing your brand focus and theme. So once you have known your own awareness about your own personal brand, what is your story? What is the 3 words that describe you? Then start developing a theme. Okay, I'm going to go and show some samples after this. Don't worry. And then when you are virtually, there's no point if you have an FB or an IG if you don't connect to anyone, right? It's called social media anyway. And the same thing goes with LinkedIn. If you're already on LinkedIn and you need to start growing it, and it doesn't mean a thing now, okay? Especially for graduate, it's not so critical. But once you start working and you want to look for the next job or the next opportunity, or you want to learn, that's when you start building your number. So I'm lucky I have about 12,000 connections. Not so big, but I'm slowly growing it. Okay, I'm going to go and pull out. Let me just pull out. Okay, so I'm going to show you some samples here. Let's have a look at this guy over here. So this one here is Nazrul of Irfan Radi. You guys see the screen? Yep. Okay. So this guy here works for Maybank. He used to be in UPM and he graduated in accounting and now he works for campus ambassador at International Council of Malaysian Scholars and also Maybank student ambassador. Very simple. He's got all his featured posts here. He's quite active. He's about 9,000 followers. Wow, very cool. And then his about section, look here. He talks about himself, his name, and then what he's been doing the past 10 months, his key achievements that he's achieved, that he's just got recently, and whatever that he's achieved before, and then something about him. And the most important part is that if you have anything that you want to do about chat or something, he's got his email and also his website here. Not bad for someone who just graduated. All right. So that's one way to get yourself connected. But of course, this guy is very active because he constantly posts, right? So he's always posting and he's very active. That's very critical. If you're active and you want to put stuff out and get connected, you can do that. So he's always posting quite interesting stuff and he's very engaging lah. So I don't expect you to do that. But what you can do from a job searching perspective is create your LinkedIn account, create your profile, do your about section, put up your details and whatnot, and start connecting with people within the industry. No one will say no. No one will say no. Why are you going to connect with me? There's no such thing. Nobody does that. Okay, so please get that one, that limiting belief that someone's going to say, hey, you're a student, I don't want to connect with you. Nope, that's not the case. All right, so this is Renuka. She's my personal branding guru. She's the one that helped me with my own personal branding. She's amazing. She's got about 9,000 plus followers and she speaks mainly about personal branding and she helps loads and loads of people on how to brand themselves well. But what I like about her is that the way she writes her about section. One, she has a quote at the start. There's a bit about her background, which you cannot mention in the experience section. And then what she believes in and who she's helped. And of course, again, the call to action. All right. And you put it in. So for you, a bit about you, you can choose a quote. You can put something about in relation to your 3 words that you have mentioned just now and what drives you and what you wish to achieve and then reaching out to you. Okay. So that's one way to put it. And what's more beautiful is that you are in a university and you've got tons of friends. You can get their help to start endorsing you in skills. You can highlight skills that you want and in fact can give recommendations. But Rizal, who cares about my friends' recommendations? They don't care about it now. Your friends will in future be legal counsels, lawyers, partners, and so on. In a short space of time, it'll take you 7-8 years to become a partner. So, do it now. Don't waste time. For me, this one really helped. It's helped me so much. Okay. Then I'll go to my profile. So I've got all my stuff ready. My banner is always up and running, so people know from the get-go what I am doing and who I am. And my post, I'm quite active. I post almost every day, and I have a quote to start off what I do what I'm passionate about, and then the companies that I manage. And also they can check out what I do on LinkedIn. Fairly easy. And I wanted to also share this guy here. He invited me to speak in University Science Islam Malaysia, and he also started his LinkedIn journey, and he's got 266 connections. Now I know that you guys are very busy with studying and so on, but cheat the system. Get your team members to connect and start supporting each other. And this guy, another famous lawyer, quite young, recently only just got to the bar, I think, and he joined a few firms. Now he's with Hemi Liu, and he's a very prominent lawyer who speaks quite passionately about law. So quite a lot of stuff that he talks about. Very interesting. And you can connect with him, and he's happy to help out any way possible. And got an interesting background, and lots of things you can learn about. But for me, the other story is, I wanna start, posting what to post and so on. That's a different thing that you want to consider. You don't have to do it now. First thing first is get your LinkedIn profile up and running. Now, guys, can you tell me, do you have your LinkedIn profile up? For those that have, say yes. Those that do not have, say no, please. Yes, 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 yes. Very good, very good. Okay, so my suggestion moving forward, every day add 10 connections a day. 10, 10, 10. And in there, later on, I'll share with you what you can do in building that connection and building the relationship. This is very key. Okay, so going back to here, virtual branding. Now we're going to go to the next one, which is reality. How do I improve my personal branding on the reality side? Unfortunately, you can't away with dress for success. Now, you guys just now didn't, put attire as your main thing. So I'm assuming because, the legal industry, going for interviews and whatnot is black and white. Unfortunately, that's the only dress code. And if you go to court as well, is that same color. Oh, well, I don't envy you. So that's, what's important. But here, it's about when you go out for networking, when you go for career fairs and so on, always double check, triple check, make sure that you're ready. You never know who you're going to meet at that time. That person could be the one that helped you seal the deal. Okay. Next one, at business etiquette and also the elevator pitch. So I spent a great deal of time just now with the other group about talking about the elevator pitch. Now, you need to know how to do your elevator pitch. It's not easy. Does everybody know what an elevator pitch is? Do you know an elevator pitch? No? Okay. So this is very important, yeah, because the elevator pitch also means how you sound. Okay. Why they call it an elevator pitch is because when people get in the elevator, you don't spend like 1 hour in the elevator unless it's stuck, right? All right. So you go into an elevator, it's always, 30 seconds and so on. And during that time, if you meet someone, you only have that short space of time to make an impact. That's why people call it elevator pitch. So when you have an elevator pitch, you got to make sure that you're able to introduce yourself, say, something about you that people can have a lasting impression and they want to reconnect with you. The start definitely has to have an introduction. And then the last part is a call to action. It could be a business card. It could be linking up on LinkedIn or something like that. But the in between there is you, your USP, your brand. So if you're not sure what to say, it's always the three words that describe yourself and what have you achieved recently or something that, they might be interested to hear in. The worst part is, hi, my name is Rizal. I come from this company and I'm currently a lawyer in this company. Ding, I'm out. No chance, right? That happens all the time, right? So generally you do have that short space of time to be able to make an impact. Because when you're going for networking, open sessions where a firm invite people to come in, I can guarantee you people are just moving around. They don't have time to chat. Only have that few seconds to speak to a manager or partner and to be able to make a lasting impression. Now, Wong and Partners, I'm going to give you an inside hint. They do run like an evening in Wong Partners, drinks and get together and so on. After the session ends, we actually review those that attend. What did this guy say? How was his, was he, friendly? Did he have anything interesting to talk about and so on? And I'm 100% sure even for Christopher and Leong as well, when they had interns coming in, we will remember those that made an impact and those that when we speak with have that business acumen. I'm very keen. Potentials. So they always do that. So always have your elevator pitch ready. And when you practice your elevator pitch, make sure you check how you sound. This is very important. So if you don't sound excited, you sound very tired, not interested, or two small boys, no confidence, then it's an issue. Okay. Making connections when you are in face to face is very critical. Make sure that you connect over on LinkedIn at the same time. In real life, always connect as well. It could be through a phone call, through business card. If you don't have any business card, follow up email after meeting them with the person. Build that connection on both sides. That's how I do it. Okay. The same way. All right. So once you have that match, that's only when you will have the the Thanos of personal branding. Being able to have all that. You have your due diligence done. You've seen what's in the market. You have prepared your personal brand. You know what your career path is going to be like. Your virtual and reality branding is solid. And now you have already prepared your elevator pitch. You go in strong and you won't be so scared. And it's the truth, unfortunately, for me. I think that if you don't have all those elements when you go in, even if you get a job after a few months, few years, this probably not have been the one that for me. You might have wasted or cut down a few of your time from there. Okay, we're going into the end, almost close to the end already. So just a quick one, right? So you always have opportunities to network. So how do I actually do networking? Now this one goes through a few things here. What I wanted to say here was actually when you're meeting people, right? You can meet people through social media. Do not ask them for a job. And those, can I work with you? Don't ask that. Use that opportunity. Let's say use your CV as a tool for advice and don't take too much time. So hey, I want to speak with you and talk a bit about my CV. I want to get your feedback on my CV. Is it okay? And then when you use your elevator pitch in your emails or your DMs or in your face to face, and then ask how to expand network, a reason to follow up, and then always say thank you whenever you reach out to them. Never just ask someone and then don't say anything after that. You're taking up someone's time. And then always maintain an online presence and don't be shy. So when you are on LinkedIn connecting, make sure that you're always there. The worst part is that you DM 500,000 people and then after that you yourself not active online and maintaining that. People want to know to see that you're connected. Okay. All right, because I'm in HR before I know. When I have good candidates, I look it up on LinkedIn. I want to see how they speak, what they do, who they are connected with, and so on. I know that if somebody is really connected, very active, this one here is thinking. It's a thinker, someone that values quality. So for me as an employer, I got to be matching that. All right. So when setting up your career, it's important to have a killer CV. I got a very simple suggestions here. Make sure that you're relevant, mind your language, use very basic stuff, pay attention to detail, very, very important. Keep it short and simple, highlight achievements. Now, a lot of people, they regurgitate, they put everything that they do in university, in college, at high school, and then the work experience they have. They work in McDonald's. They are just a part-time, cashier, but then they got finance administrator, order taker, and killer Big Mac. I don't know. You just overdo it, right? Just highlight what are the key things that you learn, because people generally who interview know what you do already. Okay, especially for experience hire. Make sure it reflects you. So my biggest tip for you is that on LinkedIn, resume, both have to match. Don't differentiate. And then the worst part is that any interview that you go through, there will always be the employment form or some other form that they call it, which you're required to rewrite everything from your CV into the form because they need it for system input. So you have 3 stages of preparing your information. So LinkedIn, resume, and then that one thing, annoying thing before starting work. I already gave you a CV. Why you need me to fill this up? But that's the way it is. So make sure that it's all tallied. Okay. Include the right personal information and have a professional photo. Now, this one here, Rizal, should I have a photo or not? It's up to you. I have no strong views about it. I understand people don't want to put photos and whatnot. For me, who cares? If I want to put. But if I want to put, I do it well. Okay. If I don't want to put, it's fine. Don't ever put a selfie, please. Oh my God, there's so many. I have had so many selfies, holiday selfie, in-car selfie, selfie in a toilet as well. Everything. Okay, obviously these guys doesn't really care. And then I wouldn't even bother looking at the CV if it's a selfie. If you're going for a very serious role, unless for some really crazy reason that the person is really outstanding, then I will probably consider. Even that also I won't, because that's just terrible. So you can leave it out. That's also okay. I have no issues. But if you want to put in, be professional, know how to do it. Okay, so that was the makeup of your CV. And then last but not least, acing the interview, choose your target. Yeah. Once you know who you're going to go for the interview, you choose your target, meaning that you have targeted your firm, you have already selected them, you've already written them down. When you go to the firm, you have already on a piece of paper written down what the mission values are, what the coverage area, who the stakeholders, everything you've written down. If you haven't done that, you haven't chosen your target. You're just going there, the bengkalai, just relax, chill, like you know everything. That's not going to be it's not going to cut it. People who get it are always prepared. And when they're prepared, they know everything about the firm. When they go in, they're confident. Okay? 3 P's, present, practice, and perform. And then last but not least, really do your research. Looking it up on your phone isn't research. Please don't do that. Everybody say, I already researched. What? Google. Ayo. Cannot. Right? If you haven't connected to people on DM, if you don't know who the partners are, what the recent deals are, and you don't know what award they have won recently, you've not done it. And confidence is very important. Where do I get that? It's not rocket science. It's the 3 P's again. Present, practice, and perform. Always, always, always go and check out with your friends and chat with them and find out how you can get the edge when going for the interview. It's so critical. That's all the thing that's all the hint I can give. You can go to courses and whatnot, but if you don't practice it, it's very bad. Now, I am going to show you something which I showed the previous group before. This resume, right? This CV I have here with me. I want you to see. I kept it. I asked my former HR. It's very bad of me, lah. Don't tell people. So I kept it because it's a reminder to myself. So this is a CV that I got from one of the candidates. Look at how thick the CV is. I think it's 150 pages long. It's a legal student. It's a law student. Okay. The law student is a straight A student. Upper second upper. Not bad. In the email, sounds very professional. Sends the resume in advance. When I got it, I was shocked. Wow. In here has a story about human rights and what makes a law firm great and what's critical for workers and so on, with opinions and everything, research, everything done. Everything is in here. But when the person came, could not utter a single word to respond to my questions. What is it are you looking for? Don't know. What makes you applying for the firm? Not so sure, just trying. Couldn't even look me in the eye and an answer. I still keep it. I still keep this CV here. I know it shouldn't be there, but it's a reminder to me that you can be really good on the virtual side, but if you don't match it when you go and meet in person, and also being a bit unrealistic with sending 100-page CV like that. I don't know how many booklets was printed out for this particular person, but relentless. Right, went there, and there's one of the few moments that I had to stop and then say, no, this is not the right job for you. Okay, so going back to you guys, don't do that. Don't ever do that. Your CV should be 2 pages long. That's it. Okay, it's not rocket science. Just build confidence. All right, so you're all set, and get me in front of the interviewer. Okay, you're so excited, and everything's all good. All right, so I know I've got a few more slides, but I think I'm not gonna go into that so much further because I only have 10 more minutes for Q&A. Right. So that is all for me on my side. All I can say is that if you really want to go the next level, just stick to the basics, do your research, know who you're going to go for, list it down, and then go the old school way, have your note ready. And then, of course, when you have your notes ready, and if you have questions, that question should be asked during the interview. Okay? And make sure that virtual and reality matches, and try and profile yourself virtually. There are universities in Malaysia, some private universities in Malaysia, that make it compulsory for their students to be on LinkedIn, and they make sure that the profile is all done properly. Their hiring rate is more than 95%. Hiring rate more than 95%. I don't want to name the university. You can find out yourself which university they are. And every industry they are in, they got it. They're very quick because by the first or second year, they've already built up their profile and they've already latched onto their potential prospects already. Okay, that's all for myself. I got to cut short the slides because I know that I saw the time is closing in, despite I have a 5 minute extra, I think, because we started 5 minutes later. Okay, so I'm open for questions and questions from people. Anyone have any questions? Feel free to ask away, or if you have questions ready, you can ask away.
Yeah, I do have some questions prepared actually from the Google form itself. It's actually from the registration form from the participants.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I will shoot the first question, which is, how would you advise a fresh junior lawyer to properly withstand the rather suffocating culture of working in a huge law firm?
Wow. Belum masuk already suffocating. Okay. All right. So for me, right, anything that you do, if you go in with your eyes closed, then it's wrong, right? It's important for you to prepare yourself for anything that you do. Okay? It doesn't have to be work. It could be sports. You know, I go and see everybody's doing it out on site. Everyone's cycling everywhere. Everyone's hiking everywhere, right? Wow, so fun. I decided to go in. I buy all the clothes, blah, 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 all the shoes and all, and go uphill. Halfway up there, my knees are busted, right? So anything that you do, go in with eyes wide open. So if you're going for a law firm, the big question people always ask me, what's the difference between small firms and bigger firms? I don't have a set answer for that. All I can say is that both are equally as challenging. Smaller law firms just means you have to do a lot of other things. Bigger law firms, you're very specialized, but you're doing one thing, but you have volume in that. Which one is better for you? It really depends on your own personality and your own career path. If you feel that, I want a fast-paced environment, I enjoy that challenge, and I want to have, multiple types of clients, multinationals and so on. Multinationals are not small. They're generally big organizations, and when it comes work comes from them, it will be very big most of the time, and that requires work and hours. So you probably, in the joy of being able to serve those clients, there will be sacrifices in terms of time and whatnot. But some people just, go crazy on that. They enjoy it, but some people don't, and nothing wrong on the other side. However, if you ask me in terms of experience perspective, the larger firms do have better structure at the start. Okay. So somewhere in your mind, if you feel that, oh, maybe one day I want to open a business, maybe one day I want to start my own law firm, then starting small or medium-sized firms actually quite cool as well, because you get to see how to set it up, what's the structure like. You understand it very well. Okay. Not to say that you can't if you join from a larger firm. In fact, some people, they go larger firm, they go off on their own. All the referral works from the bigger firm goes to them. But then, the assimilation process is harder. You're so used to people supporting to suddenly you do everything on your own. It's very tough. Yeah. So I got another question from Nur Hafiza Anggu here. She says, Assalamualaikum, Waalaikumsalam. My name is Nur Hafiza from UK. And I have a question. Is it appropriate to ask about salary during interview? Wow, very good question. So many people ask me this. Now, one thing first, my advice is that whenever you go for an interview, always have a question. Never have no question. Someone who doesn't have a question, immediately I say you don't have any interest. Why? Because an interview is not enough. It's just like going out on a date. When you go on a date with a person, right? You meet them for 30 minutes. Do you know everything about them? No, not possible. There always have to be a Q&A. And when it's always about interviewer asking the interviewee, when it's time for you to ask the question, make sure you ask the question. Now, going back to the salary question, you can. Now, however, be mindful that usually for, junior lawyers or, graduate recruitments and so on, the price range is about the same. So if you want to ask, you want to find out, may I know what the remuneration package and the entitlements that I will get as a first-year lawyer? Or what is the remuneration package like for the pupillage here? And what's the timeline like? and what's the benefits that I may get. You can ask it that way. Never ask how much am I going to get. That's very rude. So just knowing how to ask it. And I would ask it as question number 2 or number 3. Number 1, I'll be more critical. I'll be more focused on, what is the work culture like in your organization, right? Get them to speak a bit about the firm. You get some insight because you want to know, is this the right firm for me, right? Don't be so desperate. Sometimes we can be desperate, but at least you know that what you're coming into, like you said that question just now, right? Go into something like, I'm going into a war zone. At least I know what war is on, right? You can tell. And then second one, right? What kind of individuals are you looking for, in the firm? And then another question, what is the career path look like for me, for a junior? Okay, generally, you're going to be going through this. You work in a firm, you'll be supporting here, then you start building your business, then potentially we look at partnership. They tell you. Now, when somebody answers that, cincai, that's a sign that there's no system. You're going to be in there like a fish in a big pond. Don't know when you're going to go up and so on. So companies or firms or partners should be ready to be able to answer those questions before coming to the question of salary and whatnot. It's okay to ask, no problem. Just be very tactful in how you ask. Yep. Any other questions?
I have another question from the registration form. The question is, for pupils, would it be better to pick a boutique, small or large firm if I'm only open to learning specific areas of law that I would further practice?
Wow. Okay. Very good question as well. Now, I've done at least six speaking engagements on this similar topic, and a lot of people always want to limit themselves to what they do at the start before they go in. So my suggestion is that when you go in, it's good to have an area that you want to specialize in, and then when you go into the firm, focus on it. That's fine. If you're passionate about it, you work hard on it. At the same time, allow yourself to also start figuring out what other topics and other practice areas that you can do, because this then gives you a sense that, whoa, actually this one here is much more interesting. You can see the pros and cons between different options. So when you go in, you know what you're heading yourself into. Some people, let's say, for instance, number one, for corporate, right? Generally, people always go for litigation, and then they go for IP, intellectual property, and then they go for corporate work. So when they go into corporate work, I want corporate. Then they realize that the corporate work, a million topics and stretch you all over. You just so many specialization. It will take you 3 years till you be able to pinpoint what you really want. So for me, whether you're joining a big, small law firm, it's okay. So you go in, if you are clear on the litigation side, like I want to go to court, that's where I think I want to make a mark. Then, smaller boutique firms would have that. And fortunately or unfortunately, your success highly depends on your master, right? Your people master or the partner that's handling you. So that one is very critical. Do your research. Now, I can tell you a lot of key partners are more than happy to speak. And there are a lot of potential ways for you to reach out. For instance, Dato Azmi for Azmi and Associates. That guy is so cool. I can just DM him. We're chatting away like nobody's business. There's a few managing partners. Of course, maybe I'm senior before and they know that I was in 1P, they reach out. But I've chatted with them so many times about different things, and I want them to engage me in helping them, right? Consultancy. And they're open. They're very relaxed. So, you're selecting who you're going to work with is very critical, because that's where they falter. Sometimes when you have a boss that is very micromanaging, or a boss that is too loose, or a boss that don't care, even you have a particular so much focus on what you want to do, it doesn't help. So make sure that you do your research first. That's why the due diligence is very important. Piece all that puzzle together, engage and find out, connect, ask questions, go for the interview, ask the question to the particular person or the stakeholders. Then at least you've marked all the boxes. You know that I've done my research. I know their clients. I know what they do. I've checked their culture. I know what the partner sounds like. what he thinks about a career partner, everything's all there. You won't go wrong at the very least, right? At the start. Then later on, it's just a matter of preference lah. Okay. What's this? Galaxy. Well, this is probably a Galaxy phone. Hi, sir. What is the difference between CV and resume? Like what partners they require CV, resume, and also cover letter. Could you share what do we need to put in? It's quite confusing. Resume, CV, same, man. Same, no. I don't see any difference between the two. For me personally, if they are asking for both, right, I better call the HR manager and ask them to change that lah. I know her well. But it's the same for me. No difference. Resume and CV, curriculum vitae, and it's just showcasing who you are, what you've done, what you achieved, and who your referees are. Okay. What do we need to put in as in between CV? I think the cover letter and the CV is important, and that's it. Cover letter and CV, and that's it. So for me, if you're asking me what to put inside, as I mentioned just now, the 2-pager, and a bit about you, what you're about, your recent achievements, your basic education line, and so on. I don't care about how it looks like. For me, I have no particular preference as to how you design it. Make sure that it's professional. The number one thing, the referees, make sure they are aware that you have submitted and who you submitted to. If somebody calls the referee, who are you? Why are you calling? He never told me. That's bad. Okay. All right. Hi, sir. From Galaxy, I'd like to ask how or steps to help one choose area of law to practice. Okay. Do we need to be prepared for interviews in big firms like 1P and Chris? Yes. Yes. Triple yes. As I mentioned, how to ace the interview is the 3 Ps. Present, practice, and perform. Many times. And I can help you with that. If you want practice, you can send your CV and cover letter to me. I can go through it, and then I can run a mock interview with you for free, just as long as you keep it to a certain time, and I will go and I can drill you. I can ask you all the questions that they have asked. I help prepare the questions for some of the firms, so I know what they ask. Now, how to choose the area of law? This one here is before you know what to choose, you have to know what's available, right? So go through and browse through all the potential law firms that you're going to, and then read through and understand. Make sure you understand what it is first before you're able to choose. Okay. From my understanding, corporate is interesting because so many coverage and so on. Litigation is also interesting, especially for bigger law firms, because they are dealing more on bigger clients. But because they have corporate and litigation at the same time, they are unable to go and serve clients that have conflicts with the corporate side. So their scope is limited. So when you go to smaller firms, they can go for anyone, right? Because they have no conflicts of interest between different departments. So for me, study first all the websites you want, highlight the ones you like, and then study about it. Then you know which one you will like. All of them have their pros and cons. All of them. Tax are different, finance and projects are different, IP is different, litigation is different, corporate, real estate, you name it, employment, they're all different. They've got people, elements, things to study. So you would know which one you like when you read it. I'm 100% sure. But if there's anything that I would say that's key that will make the differentiator, for corporate work is very transactional. So it's heavy, lots of volume things coming in. For litigation, you can go deep into a particular matter. If it's a construction related or it's a big dispute, it can go months and years, huge amount of files and books and whatnot. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Got a few more. I can open up a few more questions. Is it true employers prefer a plain CV or resume done with Microsoft Word rather than ones made by Canva? Okay, so for me, I come from Japan. I was there for 7 years. Did you know that in Japan, CVs, you can buy a CV from 7-Eleven? Why? Because they don't want people to develop CVs like that. Trouble. They have a single unified CV, the whole of Japan. Because we want to be fair. Okay? So the purpose of that is so that it's easier for people to judge and have a look. So sometimes when you use all this fancy stuff, you get too colorful and all that. It looks like you're deviating from the main point. So that's why I say keep it simple, professional. If you're aiming for firms and so on, keep it plain and simple. White paper, don't have to put all that stuff. max it out to 2 pages and make sure all the key points are there. Your cover letter is there. For me, that is just the basic. The icing is your LinkedIn DMs, your understanding about the business, you going into the internship first, and then already communicated with HR you're interested, and you know who your stakeholders are, who the people that you'll be interviewing, and you've been speaking to them beforehand. That one, in soccer, you already have the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper will jump left when you shoot right. Okay. All right. Thanks, sir. How do I contact you for interview questions which you often help? Do I drop you my email? You can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. Just go there. Just find me on LinkedIn. So first, before you even do anything, have your LinkedIn first. Once your LinkedIn is okay, you can come and connect with me. Have your CV, cover letter. I'm happy to help out. All right. That's it. Any other questions? I hope I answered your question, Arisha. No one has any problem with Canva and so on, but just keep it simple. That's all. No fancy like one like that one got star here and there. It's very cool. Indu, you have your own CV, Indu? All done, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So the CV should be very basic. Yeah, don't do so fancy.
I think we don't have any questions already because most of the questions that was asked in the form, you've already addressed them.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So last call, no more questions, right? I'm happy to answer anything. Anything. Last call. Indu, you have any questions to me from yourself?
I did have, but kind of forgot it already.
Oh, lama.
It's okay, Mr. Rizal. If I have any questions, I will DM you in LinkedIn.
Okay, cool. No worries. Thank you so much. All right. So if that is the case, then thank you so much, guys. I hope that I gave you some insights and some practical takeaway points. I hope that you guys, absorb what I've spoken about and then what I've shared. And when you are actually going for any of this stuff, remember to do your research. Remember to do a 3Ps: present, practice, and perform. And do that with your friends and many times. And once you go in, you won't be as nervous and you will ace the interview. That's for sure. Oh, okay. Thanks, Arisha. Okay. Yep. That's very true. So Word document is easy. I mean, why want to save in Canva, right? Yeah. Unless you're doing editing. Yeah.
Okay. I'll close it up now. Thank you to all our participants. Thank you so much for your participation. We hope that you have enjoyed this webinar. If you are intrigued by a webinar session like this, we have many more to come in the future, and you may always follow us at mlsn.official on Instagram, and our Facebook page and LinkedIn page handle is at Malaysian Law Student Network. Thank you so much, Mr. Rizal, once again for joining us.